Hello everybody, my name is Josiah.
And I'm Jonathan.
And this is Gaming Corner.
May be old news, but on June 7th, Mojang released the 1.19 Minecraft Wild update, adding many new things, such as frogs. The Warden officially actually spawns in the Deep Dark biomes, Shriekers, Skull Shriekers, adding Skulk blocks and everything. And then, 10 days later, on June 17th, they also released the Lightyear DLC on Nintendo Switch Marketplace.
And until July 30th, Nintendo is going to be holding the Nintendo vs. Championships, which is just a competition to see who can get the highest points.
It's on
and
Nintendo
the highest,
Switch.
Yes, only on Nintendo Switch. You can play Splatoon 2 and Mario Kart until the end of July 30th for just a competition.
The specific dates are Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 12 to 6 PT, Pacific time.
Yep. Well, into Tetris. So what we're going to be doing right now is we're going to be playing Tetris, and what's going to happen is Jonathan's going to go first, and we're going to see who can get the highest score within 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
So, can you go grab your phone?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay, great. We're going to do the timer. All right, ready? Open your clock. And so, let's get started.
The timer. So stopwatch or timer?
Timer.
Timer. What ringtone? Is this long?
Just 3 minutes. You ready?
No, that's 2:30. I'm giving myself extra time.
Cheater.
Oh, wait. I don't have a ringtone for the timer. Never mind.
All right, you ready?
Okay, hang on. Old alarm clock. Does that work?
Sure.
Do you have like a gaming corner ringtone?
No.
That would be epic.
Yeah.
We need to make.
We're working on that now. Gaming Corner movie coming to...
No, gaming corner ringtone.
Coming to a place that exists near you. All right, you ready?
Wait. I need the controller.
Yeah, right here.
I can't just play without a controller.
All right, starting.
I need you to start this. Wait, what do I click? What do I click? The stop button?
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Oh, wait. Either way, I accidentally reset it, but I got it now.
That's okay.
Yeah.
What are we clicking?
Press
Level
start
0?
in 3, 2,
Wait.
1.
Level 0?
Yes. Go.
Alright.
Alright.
Begins.
You're actually doing pretty good. Have you played Tetris before? Oh yeah, you play Tetris all the time. Yeah, but you must speak up for the people at home. Yeah, so they can hear you. Can you hear us? Probably not.
Yeah, that would be good. I mean, like, you gotta make sure you can hear my voice. My voice is perfect. It's
You're the pinnacle of voices.
Screen looks so good. I can't see where anything's gonna go.
Where you go? Once the timer hits. You got 2 minutes, so go a while. Your phone locked, so
Okay.
there we go.
I won't say the password because that would be bad.
Yeah, and I don't
everyone
want
on the internet would know.
I don't want your password either. I mean, I want your password, but I don't want your password.
Why do you want my password?
What are you getting with your phone?
Why do you want to get into my phone?
Stop the timer.
Then I have to stop playing.
No, we don't want that.
I just want the win here.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do that, you really don't have to. You really don't have to win.
I can't turn on the wall. Wow. I'm a new gamer boy. I play video
See, I only play Fortnite. No, I've actually...
I don't play
I've
Fortnite.
never played Fortnite.
Me neither.
Maybe once.
I'm not allowed to play Fortnite.
I've never played Fortnite, and I don't have a reason to play Fortnite.
Now, if I had friends who played Fortnite,
I have no
had
friends.
to.
I have no friends. We're like acquaintances. We're just
kidding me?
people that know each other.
That isn't true.
Well,
Okay.
agree to disagree.
Well, I'm so sorry. I'm so sad. I thought we were friends.
Me too.
What? Who decided this?
Yes.
Lots of audio.
Oh, you could have used that there.
Yeah, you put that there. Can't hold the camera.
No, you can't. This is Tetris Uno.
This is old. No! I missed
Oh.
a piece.
Stop it. Okay,
Oh my goodness.
that's 3 minutes.
How many?
That is
how
3
many
minutes.
things did I get?
All right, now
How many lines did I
it's
get?
my turn. All
How many
right.
How do I know how many lines I got?
Well, we'll figure that out. And you got. This doesn't count. You got 21 lines with a score of 2,122 on level 2. That is great.
I need to get the. No. I need to take a picture. Okay.
So don't worry, we'll see it on the video.
Save it.
All right,
Good
now
point.
it's my turn. So
It's
you
his
ready?
turn, people. He's gonna totally win.
Probably
He's
not.
gonna beat me.
Anyways, all right. Phone timer. Oh, sorry, totally forgot.
Level
You are
zero.
very welcome. You are not
you have
British.
to start on level 1.
One? Oh, I thought you started on level 0. I don't know.
I'm kidding.
All right, you ready? Tell me one.
Ready?
3,
Set.
2, 1.
Go.
All
That's
right.
the worst piece to start off with. I'm so sorry, Josiah.
Me too.
No. You're doing it wrong. In Tetris 99, you can actually slip the piece underneath there.
Oh.
Oh, you can do that. You can do that here too. Wow. I thought it was a good game. Apparently not.
I have not played Tetris in a while. I've been trying to, mostly because of Tetris 99. I think I played that just a few days ago.
You just played it today with me.
That's right.
And in the car.
Oh yeah.
Do you not remember that?
No, not at all.
Dude, you're not gonna get them in lines.
See, I'm homeschooled, so.
No.
That was a mistake.
No, over to the left. Okay, I'm not even.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Either way. Okay, and lines, and one line, and there. Probably get a line, probably not. Okay, probably not. Okay. It's here. So, what games have you been playing recently?
I've been playing. I like to play Super Animal Royale. That's pretty fun. I have been playing Knockout City. I've been playing Ninjala a little bit. I just got those games. So, yep, that's pretty much it. I've also been playing Minecraft.
How much time do we got on the timer?
2 minutes, approximately 1.5 probably.
You had how
Did
many
I only
lines?
get 12? Did I get 12 or 21? I have no idea.
21.
You have 1 minute and 8 seconds.
That is not
Good
good.
counting. You got plenty. Now you're on level 2. Now it's 8 seconds.
Finally.
No, that's level 1.
Oh. You are a lot better at this than me.
You are 1 line behind me, so. Okay, now you beat me basically. And you still
I
have
thought you had
40
21.
seconds.
I
I had 12. I'm fairly certain I had 12.
Not really.
I want a rematch.
I mean, if
We
you
don't have
want
time
that,
for that,
sure.
We don't have time for that. 20 seconds. What was that?
What?
You did not put that in the right spot.
Believe me, I haven't put a lot of these pieces in the right spot.
Oh, done.
Okay, what was the time? Level 1, 18 lines, 1885 points. So it looks like you beat me in points.
Are you sure, though?
Yes, you had over 2,000. Now that we've done the game, it's time for a debate. Well, finally we're going to figure out what is better. We're going to finally put this to rest with the debate. Which is better, Super Nintendo
Or Genesis, Sega.
Alright,
Sega Genesis.
so, who wants to go first?
Alright, so, I have to affirm the resolution. Sega Genesis is a game console superior to the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Yes, we do have to. I mean, we can't really do this without me. So. The Genesis console is the most advanced of its time and overshadowed the NES both in terms of popularity and power. In today's round, I will prove the superiority of Genesis by examining players' responses to the console and the abilities of the console in comparison to the SNES. So, firstly, Genesis trumped its opponents in the eyes of the players. According to Wikipedia, Genesis Sega sold consoles at a rate twice of that of its competitor. This is quite possibly the greatest statistic in favor of Genesis. The capabilities of Genesis placed it far ahead of its day, and buyers were aware of this. Another case in which Genesis was clearly more popular when compared to SNES was with Thunder Spirits. This is one of the few instances where the same game was released on both the SNES and Genesis under different names. It is Thunder Force 3 to Sega and Thunder Spirits to Nintendo. However, in the opinions of fans, Sega wins. The statistics are by IGN. The second area in which Genesis is superior to its rival is in the capabilities of the consoles. Because this is a debate on which console has worthier abilities, it is only fitting that the victor be that who proves his console to be stronger. According to Sega Retro, the Sega Mega Drive's graphics processor has a powerful DMA, aka Direct Memory Process Unit, that can handle DMA operations at significantly faster speeds than the SNES. The Mega Drive's main CPU, or Central Processing Unit, is clocked over 2 times faster than the one of its rival product, the SNES. Sega's processor is clocked at 7.67 MHz, or whatever you call that, compared to 3.58
Megahertz.
Okay.
New word. Yeah.
Megahertz.
New word on
Called
the
megahertz.
We're going to call it megahertz, okay?
we got it from
Mario,
Oklahoma.
do you agree? Oh, no, you're not. Megahertz.
Megahertz. So 3.58 for the SNES and 7.67 for the Genesis. Which
What
has
do you
to do
think?
with
The blast processing thing.
Yeah.
Even though that was just a bit of a marketing tactic, it was true. Even though, like I said, it was just a marketing tactic, which just meant it could run games like Sonic the Hedgehog. The Super
But
Nintendo
do you
was,
agree, yes or no, that it had a better computer?
even
processing?
though it was faster, it doesn't mean that faster games means better gameplay. Look at great games like Super Mario World. Those really aren't fast graphics. But even games like F-Zero, fast games with a slow processing unit. Well, go on.
Yes. Okay. But do you agree that the Sega Genesis's processor is faster?
I can.
Okay, so
By
you do agree.
about 4 megahertz.
Yes or no?
It's just fact.
What about the DMA is significantly faster? Do you agree with that?
I can agree with that. It is fact.
Okay. So, Sega's audio CPU has over 3 times the clock rate of the Super Nintendo's audio CPU. In other words, Sega has graphics, speed, and audio far superior to that of the SNES. Because the SNES is a stronger, more powerful console that was far more successful among gamers, it is clearly the superior console. Thus, I affirm.
Okay, well, let's talk about the Super Nintendo's hardware. Now, even though the Genesis sold for $50 less than when the console came out, the Super Nintendo had over 49.1 million consoles sold worldwide.
When was that? When was that said, though?
Now, this is just for how many consoles have been sold in real affairs. Even though the Sega Genesis was $50 less than the Super Nintendo, that doesn't mean better price cuts mean better games. Look at the amazing games that the Super Nintendo had. It had Super Mario World, Super Mario Kart, Super Mario RPG, all great games in the Mario franchise, F-Zero, a wonderful racing game, Pilot Wings, a great game that showed off the capabilities of the Super Nintendo, Earthbound, one of, if not the greatest RPGs on the console, Star Fox, something that showed off the Super FX chip that could put off 32-bit graphics on a 16-bit console, along with Donkey Kong Country, where it took 3D graphics and rendered them into 2D sprites, and Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, the single greatest Legend of Zelda game ever. And that's just not from opinion. That's also from many other fans saying, hey, this is a great console with the great games. But then look at the hardwares and sales of the console. Now, would you like a console with 512 colors or over 32,000 colors?
Well, to me, it wouldn't matter. I mean, like, that is really colorful.
Yes,
Why?
because the Super Nintendo had over 32,000 colors. It also had 8 sound channels, which meant it sounded incredible, and surprisingly enough, those sound chips were made by Sony, who made PlayStation. Then again, the PlayStation wasn't around until 1995, because, well, if you know this already, then Nintendo and Sony were going to play, or come together and make the Nintendo PlayStation. But when Nintendo backed out of the deal, after they showed it off at a trade show one day later, I believe it was, they paired up with Philips to make exclusive games for the Philips CDI, like Hotel Mario, which flopped.
Probably wouldn't have been a flop if we had Nintendo PlayStation.
That would have been
By
awesome.
the way, this is extremely dark.
Yeah, right, that would have been awesome. By the way, I really want to see that now. But yeah, how would you like an online service?
We already have online services, Switch Online, Xbox Live,
But
those kind of things.
the Super Nintendo also had an online service where you could download great games through your satellite called the Nintendo Satellaview.
Okay.
All
You
right,
have to pay money for it?
I believe so, but so did the Sega Genesis. But we'll get to that later. So,
Alright, I have no idea
what
Sega
games
Genesis had
and
that.
what games did the Sega Genesis have, and what hardware stuff did it have?
Genesis had great games, people. Great games. Sonic 1, and Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and the Sonic 3 add-on, Sonic and Knuckles. Great games. Altered Beast, super epic. Eco the Dolphin and Golden Axe, also epic. So, yep.
Now,
Also,
what
the
was-
Genesis was cheaper than the SNES, remember that?
Only
and if cheap, you would want to buy a cheaper console. You know? That is, do you want to get the Switch Lite or the Switch OLED? There's a huge difference there.
$150.
No, I bought a Switch. No, I bought a Switch Lite for $200.
Well, it's a $150 change.
$150 difference. Would you buy the Switch OLED or the Switch Lite?
But yes.
Put that in the comments. Seriously, it would.
What were the hardware sales and like all the sales for it?
The total Genesis sales, 30.75 million. Very large number.
Still, the Super Nintendo still sold 49 million, which is a 20 million thing. Even though that the Sega Genesis had a 2-year time span before the Super Nintendo, it still had a good run.
That is true. But, so, now that may be true, but back in 1991, around that time, Nintendo claimed it had sold more consoles than it actually had, which is not something you should do. Don't lie about sales. Don't do that, kids. We have a game company. Don't do that. It doesn't look good.
I should know.
Ah.
Yeah, we'll find that out.
It doesn't look good. But anyway, so Genesis had a faster sale rate when it released back in 1990, the 1990s, you know? When the gaming was starting.
In the 90s.
Actually, more like 1980 around. You know, from 1990 to 2000 when everybody thought everything was just going to shut off.
Everybody thought that gaming was at a pinnacle in the 90s, but then the 64 came out. Like, wow.
And then it blew everybody's mind, and that was the pinnacle.
Yeah,
now,
what's next?
now we have a Switch. Now we have a Switch OLED. It's going to keep going. I would love to know what the next console is.
We'll find that out. We're gonna find that out
Yes.
in a future episode. We're gonna make visualize.
I'm not an artist.
I just thought it out just now.
I'm not an
I'm
artist.
homeschooled. All right,
I'm
so
not an artist.
so it sold how many consoles?
30.75 for Genesis.
Okay, now I mentioned that the Super Nintendo had 8 sound channels. Just for good measure, how many did the Sega Genesis have?
6.
You hear that, folks? The
Hey,
Super
that's not
Nintendo-
that big of a difference, people. That's
It
not
is
that
a
big
big
of a
difference.
difference.
Listen to NES.
I
NES. Listen to NES music. Like
Let's cut this out.
NES. Listen to any music on the NES. Okay?
Wait, do you mean SNES?
No, the NES. listen to any music on the NES, and then compare it to the Super Nintendo, it had double the sound channels, because I believe that the NES had 4 sound channels. I could be wrong, but I really strongly believe that. Okay, but yeah, so Sega Genesis had 6 sound channels, Super Nintendo had 8.
That may be true, and Genesis didn't have as many colors, but Genesis probably was not designed to be a colorful console. Nintendo was for kids. Sega Genesis was for teenagers and adults. They had many more adultish games. So there's that.
Nintendo definitely had more childish games.
More like
family. Family friendly.
Like Super Mario Kart, great
family game.
However, there were, of course, some more adult games on the Sega Genesis, Sega Genesis, and a bunch of other consoles.
Yeah.
Like, there was one game called Splatterhouse. There were a lot of adult and games like that because Nintendo was always marketed as a family-friendly console for anybody who was a kid or who loved playing video games growing up. But like I said, the Sega Genesis was more for teens and adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter.
Earthworm Jim,
Earthworm Jim 2.
the single greatest game of all time.
Really? I thought that was Breath of the Wild.
We'll talk about that later.
will.
Super Mario Odyssey versus Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
That's an excellent idea.
Yeah, awesome. Just thought of it on the spot.
What
But
were you gonna do instead of that?
You mentioned something.
oh yeah, next episode is Mario versus Zelda.
Ah, yes, it is that.
Just the characters in general.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about third-party support.
Yes. I already mentioned a few games. Mortal Kombat with the blood code.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now, the blood code was one of the main selling points. If you haven't heard of this already, I'm sorry if you haven't heard this already, because I haven't. When Mortal Kombat came out on both the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, the Super Nintendo one looked better, but the Genesis one, if you put in a code on the main menu screen, you can unlock blood, which wasn't in the Super Nintendo one. Until
And that is an evidence of Genesis having more adult content on their.
But it was in the second one on Nintendo's console, so either way. Yeah, so what other games did it have?
Earthworm Jim 2.
Great
Probably-
game,
yeah.
probably the best game on the console.
Mega Man, the Willy Wars.
The Wily Wars. Not Willy, Wily.
Willy Wily, whatever.
Yeah, that
Sega
was
Channel exclusive, by the way. The
Yeah.
Sega Channel was Sega Channel or MegaNet. It was like an online service.
it was kind of like the Satellaview, where like I think it was like $15 a month. You could like order like these packages, and then you could like have them delivered through like a satellite, and then you could play games online. It was a very early online game.
We also had Contra Hard Corps and Street Fighter 2.
I actually have Contra, the first one right here. Nice. Yeah, I might have to play that for an episode. Yeah, Contra.
That's on the NES, so
That
not
was
Genesis.
It's a really good game. But yeah, so
Do you agree that Genesis sold more console units in the time it was released?
I do not, because from the basic stuff that Nintendo has said, that they sold more consoles. And even though they said that they sold more than they actually did, this is the main thing. The main retail sales. They sold 49.1 million units. And
As
Sega
of-
Genesis only sold, what, 30 million?
49.1 million units as of when? When did they stop making NES or SNES?
I believe sometime during the N64 era, because once they start pumping out a new console, they'll stop their previous console. But yeah, that's what they did. So,
So that was as of probably when did the come out?
1996.
Okay, so say SNES probably had about 10 years to do that, but that doesn't mean that does not mean at its release date it had less or it had more. Genesis had come out 2 years prior and had more sales as of then. Because the Genesis released 2 years earlier, they probably stopped making it earlier than the SNES stopped making it, and so because more people grow into games and grow out of games, the amount of sales would change on each console because of the 2 year difference.
So, to wrap things up, game-wise, who do you think had better games? Nintendo had better first-party games, with of course the great Mario lines, the to great racing games and all that stuff. So, what do you think?
Sonic wins every time. Sonic would beat Mario in a race, so we all know that,
Well,
right?
Game Theory made a video showing how Mario was Sonic. So.
Hey, we can't mention that.
Either way. So, to wrap up things here, this is where you can decide what is better. So, on to the closing of the podcast. Alright, our thoughts on gaming today. Jonathan, you can go first.
Well, I would say that today games have gotten much more complicated.
Especially
It's-
since, like, the older games.
Yes, the older games are definitely... They were probably a bit easier to figure out, but nowadays they aren't easy to figure out because you get some new ones. It's complicated.
Yeah, you have a lot of buttons and you have a lot of
Options. You have a lot of options.
options. You have many options. Like, just look at how many games are on the Wii, then you have a Switch. Look,
I feel like the new thing is open world video games. Open world
Oh,
video
yeah,
games have
totally.
become the new thing. Like Pokemon, Scarlet and Violet, open world. Arceus, open world. Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild,
Mario,
open world.
Mario Odyssey.
It had sections, but you could call it open world because you go wherever you want. Open world.
Oh,
That's everyone's favorite thing.
The new game Sonic Frontiers that's going to be coming out. That looks amazing. We actually just watched the trailer before we filmed this.
Yes.
I really liked it. I don't know why the hate is all on Sonic Frontiers. Well, that's going to do it for today on Gaming Corner. I'm Josiah,
And I'm Jonathan.
and this is Gaming Corner.